I've noticed a lot of new players are getting into Dead by Daylight, so here are some survivor perks that are essential for learning the game and surviving. If we get more than 100 likes on this video, I'll do one for killer. First perk up is Bond. Bond allows you to see your allies' auras. It's pretty simple, but I think this is really good because you usually start out this game kind of scared because there's a killer in the match trying to kill you. And I think this kind of reduces that fear at least a little bit, because at least you're able to see your survivor friends and where they are and what they're doing, so you can kind of just stick with them and I guess survive. Plus it also gives you good aura reading and information on, you know, where generators are, what they're doing, where they're healing, and just different stuff like that. I think this is a really good starter perk. Next up, we have Botany Knowledge. Botany Knowledge increases your healing speed by 50%, but it decreases your healing item efficiency by 20%. I think this is really good because in and of itself, I guess Botany Knowledge doesn't really teach you anything, but I think it kind of teaches new survivor mains. Healing is one of the most powerful things in the game, and this just kind of reduces the time for them to heal anyways, which is really good for new survivors in my opinion. Next up, we have Technician. The noises of your repairs are reduced by 8 meters, and if you fail a skill check, the generator explosion doesn't notify the killer. Now, yes, the perk itself doesn't teach you how to hit skill checks, but I think it kind of gives survivors the courage, even though they miss a lot of skill checks, to sit on gens and learn how to hit skill checks. Next up, we have our first exhaustion perk, Life. After performing a rush vault over a window or a dropped pallet, you break into a sprint for 3 seconds. I think this is really good. Rather than having sprint bursts to where you automatically get value for just running, Life makes you go towards safety, whether it be a window or a pallet, to get value out of your exhaustion perk. Instead of just running aimlessly into a dead zone or just running just to run, it kind of teaches them that, hey, I need to run to some type of safety in order to survive. And I think this is really good for new players, just to learn how to start looping or just get in the mindset of I need to get to safety if the killer's coming for me. Next, we have Detective's Hunch. Now, Detective's Hunch really isn't all that crazy, but for new players, I feel like this could really clutch up for them. When completing a generator, the auras of other generators, chests, and totems are revealed within a 64-meter radius for 10 seconds. When you're new, you have no clue where crap is. You just have no idea. And this literally just shows it to you. This is just a really good information perk starting out, especially when gamers are lost. This can just clutch up for them. Next up, we have the Giga Chad perks of all Giga Chad perks, Windows of Opportunity. Not only do new players use this, but even high MMR, Iridescent 1 ranks comp Andes use this all the time. I kind of feel bad using it because of how good this perk really is. Windows of Opportunity reveals breakable walls, vault location, and pallet locations within a 32-meter range. Now, I cannot tell you the amount of value this can give you, and it kind of shows you where dead zones are and where you don't want to loop and where your safeties are. It really is a self-explanatory perk, but it's such a good perk that you really need to be using if you're starting out in Dead by Daylight. Alright, for this next perk, I need all my high MMR Giga Chads to chill on me. Chill on me and hear me out for a second. Smash hit. Okay, everybody chill. I know you guys are going crazy. Everybody chill. What smash hit does is after stunning a killer with a pallet, you break into a sprint for 4 seconds. I know what y'all are saying. Jay, what the frick is wrong with you? Hear me out. I think this perk can kind of teach low rank survivors, instead of just pre-dropping every pallet they see, to actually get that stun to get value. Because you'll go into a low lobby game and you'll see gamers just run over to a pallet, pre-drop it, and keep running, not looking behind them or trying to see where the killer is or even try to loop whatsoever, which really isn't teaching any new gamers, well, anything. It's just run over pallet, drop. This perk kind of teaches survivors that getting that stun really does give you more distance and it gives you a lot of value, and this just rewards you for it. Just make sure when you're using this perk not to make it too obvious that you're going for a stun, because killers will start to catch on and then they'll start to respect, and then that's when you get just insta clapped and this perk gets no value. Next up, we have my Gen Jockey's personal favorite, Visionary. If you are starting out in the game and feel like you're having trouble finding generators, literally this perk gives you generators. Visionary allows you to see generators within a 32-meter range. I think this perk can give you a lot of value starting out, especially on those indoor maps like Larry's and RPD. New players really don't know where the generators spawn. This can be clutch in those dire situations where you have one generator left and you can't find it anywhere. This perk will give you instantaneous value. Ascended, please put on this perk because you do be looking for gens and Lord Jesus. Next up we have Wiretap. Now Wiretap does have a lot to go through, so hold on to your seats for a second. Wiretap activates after completing a total of 33% of a gen. After repairing a generator, after that 33 seconds, for 3 seconds, you press the active ability button 1 to install the Wiretap for 80 seconds. When that Wiretap is activated on the generator, the killer's aura is revealed to you within 14 meters. So what this pretty much means is you get a 14-meter wall hack on the killer for 80 seconds. I cannot tell you the amount of value low survivors and high survivors get from this perk just because of how overpowered this perk really is. I think this kind of teaches lower rank survivors how to keep distance on the killer and how killers path around certain tiles so that they can just keep distance and keep the killer on their toes. The last perk, but definitely not the least valuable perk in this main roster, is Wake Up. Wake Up activates once you guys have managed to complete all the generators. Not only does it show you the auras of exit gates though, you actually open exit gates 25% faster. Trust me, this perk has clutched up so many times, especially when the gamer is really close to you and you need to open that exit gate fast. This will save your life. Now for our honorable mentions.
These were perks that kind of duplicated perks from the main roster, but I thought I should include them here because they probably can get you value as well, just in case you don't have some perks that were from the main roster.
The first perk in our honorable mentions is Clairvoyance. Now I would say Clairvoyance is kind of like a mobile detective's hunch. After you manage to cleanse a totem, you are able to see the auras of exit gates, generators, chests, hooks, and even that hatch within a 64-meter range. But instead of seeing the auras for 10 seconds automatically, you actually have to hold a button, and you don't have to hold the button for the full 10 seconds. So let's say you can't find anything or you can't find anything valuable. Hold the button for maybe 3 seconds and you know where a generator is. You hop on that generator and you still have 7 seconds to spare on your Clairvoyance to use sometime else. I still technically, in my opinion, would choose Detective's Hunch over Clairvoyance because it does require you to go try to search for a totem, and you don't want to be really wasting time searching for a totem when you could be on a generator. But if you do manage to find a totem fast, or you're running other perks to help you find totems fast, I do think Clairvoyance would be better than Detective's Hunch because then you can kind of control your time limit on when you want to see stuff. Our second perk is Aftercare. Now Aftercare, I would say, is kind of like a scuffed bond. After you rescue someone from the hook or somebody rescues you and you guys heal, you both can see each other's auras across the whole map. Now I think Bond is a little bit better because Bond automatically gives you aura reading on every single survivor without somebody being hooked or you being hooked. Plus you don't have to heal anybody. But if you feel like you need to run this perk and you don't have Bond available, or you don't feel like running Bond, this is a very good alternative, and it can still give you a lot of value. Next up we have Rookie Spirit. Now Rookie Spirit is kind of like Visionary's little brother that needs more work. First, you need to complete 3 good or great skill checks while repairing a generator for this perk to activate, and once it does activate, it only works on regressing generators. So I guess it does give you value on where the killer is, and it does give you generator value, but I think running Visionary is just better because it gives you automatic value. Plus you don't need to really do anything to get value off of Visionary. But if you find yourself not having Visionary, then definitely put on Rookie Spirit if you're having trouble finding gens, because it still does give you the aura of regressing generators, which I guess can help you keep up the generator pressure on the killer and make him bounce back and forth from different generators, kind of nervous on one getting done. Last but definitely not least from our honorable mentions category is my personal favorite, Any Means Necessary. Any Means Necessary activates when somebody drops a pallet and the killer does not kick it. This gives you value on where pallets are that have already been dropped, and if the killer kicks it, you know that there's no pallet there in that corner, so I better not go over there if I need to loop. The great part about Any Means Necessary is that you can actually go pick those pallets up for free. So let's say there's a gamer in your game that's just pre-dropping pallets, but the killer isn't kicking them because he's trying to get that greedy little bloodlust. You can walk over there and pick up all those pallets that he dropped with no cooldown. I think this is really good, not only for knowing where pallets spawn, just in case you do get into that situation where somebody is just pre-dropping pallets, you can reset it so when you need it you can use it. Thank you chats for watching. If you think I missed a perk, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.